Hey, welcome back to the Nansera Wellness YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a 15-minute mobility yoga flow to get into rounded shoulders or hunched back. So it's basically if you're always like this, your shoulders are leaning forward, we're going to be doing some yoga poses to alleviate that, to correct the posture. But before we get started, please, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, and generally, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share your opinion in the comment section, and let's get started. So I would advise you grab a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can get a belt or maybe a towel, anything roughly this size that can do the job. It's going to be, like an extension of your arms. Otherwise, when you're ready, join me in a lying position. And from here, send your arms overhead. Tuck your tailbone in. Press your lower back into the mat. Press the shoulder blades into the mat. Back of the palms into the mat. And also your calves into the mat. And breathe. Use your breath and be mindful of your shoulder area. With every exhale, relaxing it into the mat. With every inhale, you create space. And on the exhale, you let yourself relax into that space. Take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Maybe it's for good health and happiness, or it's for good posture. I would go with good posture. But whatever it is, something positive, something you can return to as a mantra throughout your practice. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And from here, we're going to swing the arms all the way down towards the hips and then up and back. The whole time, the lower back is glued to the ground and back. Lift up forward along the hips and swing all the way back. Let's go for 3 more rounds like this, just warming up the shoulders. Using our breath. And final round to the hips and all the way back up. Imagine someone is pulling your feet and your hands point your toes and stretch, 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 stretch. And slowly release, come onto your belly. And we're going to send our arms into a T shape. Now from here, we're going to release both shoulders are touching the mat. And now from here, we're going to push the left palm into the mat and then turn onto our right shoulder, turn left. Breathe here. You can stay here, or if it's possible for you, step 1 foot into the mat. And if you still have space, go ahead, step the second leg into the mat and breathe. Listening to your body, respecting its needs as they arise. And return back to center, returning back into your T shape. This time, we press the right hand into the mat and turn to the right. And again, you can stay here or step the right foot into the mat. And if it's possible for you, step the other foot as well. And breathe. Ooh. And returning all the way back to center. We're going to place the palms into the mat. Tuck the toes. Come onto your knees. I'm going to face this way because that's where the natural light is. I'm drawn to natural light. All right. And now from here, we're on our knees. We're going to send our hands back, interlace our fingers. Option to tuck your toes or keep them untucked, really doesn't matter. Keep the tailbone tucked in. And with the tailbone tucked in, we're going to start lifting those arms up and away as far as is comfortable without straining. Use your breath. You know you're straining if you're unable to breathe. And at that point, back off a bit to a point where you can breathe, okay? And from there, release. And now we're going to swing our arms from side to side. If this is too much on your knees, feel free to fold, double fold your mat, or maybe get a pillow. And let's just swing, releasing the tension. And now from here, we're going to plant our palms into the mat and adjust into a tabletop. From your tabletop, I want you to start walking your hands forward as far as is comfortable with your hips stacked above your knees. Walk the hands forward and release. If it's possible for you, if it's too much of a stretch, you can get blocks. I'm sorry I didn't mention the blocks, but it's an option. So option 1 is to go all the way like that. See how far you can go and stay comfortable. Maybe the chin touches the mat, but keep the hips right above the knees, one straight line. If it's too much for you, then go ahead for your yoga blocks, or maybe books, anything roughly this size, and maybe rest your arms on the blocks. And again, come back into a puppy pose and breathe. Hips are stacked above the knees. Maybe forehead touches the mat. Use your breath. If your forehead comfortably touches the mat, see if you can bring your chin to touch the mat. And slowly coming all the way back up. Shift your blocks to the side. Well done. And now you're going to come into your elbows. Tuck your toes and lift up. See if you can walk forward into dolphin pose. Shoulders are stuck right above the elbows. If this is too much on you, you can micro bend the knees or bend them a whole lot, because it's not really about arm strength as it is about opening the shoulders. And slowly release. Shake them out a bit. That's quite heavy, I know. And then plant your palms. Let's get into a downward facing dog. Maybe cycle the knees, sway the hips from side to side. First down dog of the day. Andante, andante. From here, you're going to lift your heels off the mat, roll forward into a spinal wave, plank pose, then release the lower back into the mat, push the chest forward, bend the knees, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Release your heels into the mat, lift the toes if it's possible for you, or alternatively, you can leave the knees micro bent, focusing on the upper body. From here, we're going to send the right leg up for a three-legged dog. And on the exhale, we're going to step the right foot between our palms. And now from here, we're going to drop the back knee, rise up into a moon salutation. See if you can send your arms back behind the ears. Breathe. And on the exhale, palms back to the mat. Lift the back knee up and rise into a high lunge. From here, we're going to drop the back heel into the mat, opening into warrior two for one breath. And on the exhale, send arms overhead, peel the back heel off the mat, and adjust the feet, shorten the stance so that the back heel is grounded. Square your hips to face forward. And now from here, we're going to send the arms back. You can either interlace and go all the way down into a humble warrior. Alternatively, you can reach for opposite elbows, or maybe find a reverse prayer like that. And then with our reverse prayer opening into the chest, we're going to go forward. So we have three options: reverse prayer, opposite elbows, or arms overhead. Interlace fingers and bring the right shoulder to the inside of the right knee and push while you lean forward for 3, 2, and on 1, release. Plant the palms into the mat. Step the right foot back for plank. Drop the knees, bend elbows back, chaturanga. Rise up into our cobra Alternatively, upward facing dog. And then tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Beautiful flow, guys. Inhale, send the left leg up, three-legged dog. And on the exhale, step the left foot between the mats, between the palms, and then drop the back knee into the mat. Rise the arms up, high prayer. Hips go forward while arms go back behind the ears for a moon salutation. And on the exhale, plant your palms, lift the back knee up, and rise up into a high lunge. Arms overhead, drop the back heel into the mat, back toes facing forward on a diagonal. Arms come into a T-shape for warrior two. Breathe here. And then peel the back heel off the mat, return back to a high lunge, shorten the stance for warrior one, arms overhead, and again, go for whatever option you want. Today, I'm going to go for opposite elbows, my favorite. Opening the chest, go forward and fold. Left elbow, left shoulder to the inside of the left knee. Breathe here. Mindful of your foot placement, make sure the left knee does not go over the left ankle. It rather stays behind, or at least be a 90-degree angle. And from here, slowly release the palms into the mat. Step the foot back for plank pose. Drop the back knees and release everything into the mat. Well done, guys. Now I want you to reach for your strap. And from here, we're going to go into a bow pose. You can use your strap as an extension of your arms. You do that by bending the knees and bringing your strap to the top of your feet. And now from here, we're going to lift up, lift the chest, and kick the legs back. And breathe. Alternatively, we can use our hands by reaching for the ankle joints from the outside. And then from here, we're going to lift the chest and kick back into our bow pose. Wherever you are, you're doing great. Just breathe. Engage your glutes, squeeze to lift even higher, and breathe. If you're staying still, you're not moving, that means you're not really breathing, because if you breathe, you'll be going back and forth. And slowly release. Bring your hands to form a cushion, relax your forehead, and move your feet from side to side, windshield wiper. And back to center, release the feet into the mat. This time we're going to send the arms back, interlace the fingers on top of the pitch. And from here we're going to lift the chest and lift the arms, engage the quads, come into a snake pose. Slowly release all the way down. Plant your palms, tuck your toes, lift the chest up, and come to a seated position. And now, we've done a lot of opening, but it's always good to counter it so that we can balance it out. We're going to go for eagle arms, my favorite. Very good, especially for bloating. All right. I just spoke of bloating and now I'm bulging. Anyway, send one hand forward. Also, that's because I've been doing a back bend, so it really brings everything out. Let's start with the left hand. Left hand goes forward. Right hand on top of the left to the left. Send the left fingers up, right fingers up. See if you can bring the back of the palms to touch. If that's possible, awesome. You can stay here. Or maybe it's possible for you to bring palm to palm into like you want to clap or a prayer. And now from here, I want you to relax your shoulders. You can feel the difference from when they're lifted and when they're relaxed. You can feel them pulling away from each other. And now with your shoulders relaxed, send your elbows upward and breathe. The bloating tip is a fringe benefit. Ooh, very nice. And release. Now we're going to do the second side. Right hand goes forward. Left hand goes to the right. Right fingers to the ceiling. Left fingers to the ceiling, back of the palms touching, maybe palm to palm. And from here, relax the shoulders away from the ears. With your shoulders relaxed, lift the elbows and breathe. Yeah. Oh, the gas is like out. And slowly release. Bring the left hand to rest on the right knee. Right hand goes back. And twist. Back to center. Right hand to left knee, left hand back. Keep your spine straight and twist. And return back to center. Assume a comfortable seated position. You can sit on a block or pillow just for comfort, but you also have the option to sit into the mat. And now from here, we're going to start with a Yoni Mudra, or attitude of the womb or source. We're going to interlace 3 of our fingers. Bring the index fingers to touch and the thumbs to touch. We're going to bend the elbows and just hold it here. Option to close your eyes or keep them open and breathe. We are assuming this mudra because it helps open the chest in a subtle way with the elbows bent. And now we're going to switch from the Yoni Mudra to the Chin Mudra, or gesture of consciousness. We're going to bend the index finger and bring it to the root of the thumb. And then we're going to relax the other 3 fingers. They can touch or they don't touch, either is okay. And now instead of making them face down, we're going to make them face up, because also that you can even feel it when they're facing down, the chest is not so open, but the second you turn them to face up, you feel the chest opening. And again, close your eyes, being mindful and conscious of your chest area, your shoulders, maybe feeling a bit of lightness, and breathe. Staying here for as long as you want, and knowing that you can always assume these mudras to help you open your chest, and come back to this practice as many times as you want. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I wish for you good health and happiness. Namaste.